Odessa. Odessa was leaving that day to celebrate her 25th anniversary with her husband. She was leaving at noon that day. She worked in our front office. Colonel Boone, very quiet, soft-spoken man. Sergeant Major Strickland. He wasn't even supposed to be in that day. He came in to pack up his boxes. He was retiring after around 30 years of service. And as a matter of fact, that morning we were planning part of his retirement dinner that we were going to have. Sergeant Major. Max Belkey, who was also in the building for a meeting that day. Max Belkey was the last Army man out of Vietnam in Hanoi. That when you saw the clip of them on that rooftop. Well, he made it out of Vietnam. The plane actually came in underneath us on the first floor. We were on the second floor. But as it came in, of course, the effects of it came up to the second floor. And we lost, from our organization, we lost 24 people. Just some incredibly good people. God got his best pick of angels that day. Especially my Patty. She was my best friend. She was the baby of the family. I always said she was the beauty and brains of our family, and she was. She was very smart, and she was also very caring, very beautiful, still a little girl to me. She's always going to be my little sister. She was an angel. She still is, watching over us. Still hard to believe.
Shortly after 9/11, I got a call from a colleague who was working for the Corps of Engineers, and she had been asked by the Pentagon to start a process which would give you the Pentagon Memorial. And within weeks after 9/11, there was a meeting where all the family members were contacted, and to my surprise and to everyone's surprise, we had over 300 family members show up.
I went to the meeting that evening. It was tough. I was scared. I don't know why. Because everything's so raw and fresh at that time.
I was just in awe of the fact that these family members were there, because if anything like that had happened to my family member, I think it would have been very difficult for me to just come out of my room for months and months and months. So just their courage and their character to show up at a time of tremendous grief impressed me to no end. There was a design objective, and that was crafted by the family members. And one of the things that we're very adamant about was that this memorial should be for everyone, not just for the families and not just for the folks who perished, but because of the impact that 9/11 had on everybody in this city and this country and the whole world, that it would be a very non-prescriptive place where nobody told you what statues you have to look at, nobody told you what path that you had to walk, but that you came, you saw, and you sensed and left with your own sense of what the event was all about.
My partner, Keith Caseman, and I were the concept designers for the Pentagon Memorial. We were living in New York during 9/11 and we're architectural designers, and we felt just a natural obligation to contribute to a conversation that was going to be had about how to remember the 184 people that died here. These were people who were going on trips, they were going to work, and they all led very unique and beautiful lives. And so we knew that we wanted to make a place that was incredibly unique, that was somber yet had an emphasis on life. And so there's a lot of tactile materials and the crunchy sound of your feet and the soft moving edge to the park. They remind the visitors that they are in fact still alive and are able to come here and remember those who died here.
Well, the park is laid out by age, essentially. So every year, which is located on the perimeter bench, the people that were born in that year are located on that line. So when you cross the zero line, which represents 2001, you work your way back in time. And it can look very chaotic because of the memorial units and their placement, but as you walk through, you can see the very organized strategy everyone can relate to. By walking through, you can relate to that age, you can relate to where that person was in life.
By organizing them by age, it really begins to describe the array of people that were taken from us that day. There were 5 children that lost their lives here that day. We wanted to make sure that this place makes you think, but it doesn't tell you how to think or what to feel when you're here.
I do wish more people would come out and see this beautiful memorial and stop and remember and reflect back to those days, what it was like before. And do what we all do, wish it was back to those days. But we know we can't. What we can do is honor those people, let them know we've not forgotten, and be vigilant.